What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another Nintendo Switch news video and more. Today, we've got a lot of topics to go over, but before we get into that, please make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe if you enjoy daily gaming videos and live streams as well. Now, let's go ahead and jump right into it, and we're starting out with Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. There's been a little bit of controversy surrounding this game when it comes to the Kickstarter, which was funded pretty quickly, and then also the major backing they got from being on Xbox Game Pass day one. People are thinking, wait a minute, Game Pass day one, but I bought this game. If I already have Game Pass, what's going on here? And also the development of 2D or pixel art and the cost of that, because we have a lot of online developers that feel that 2D isn't worth it or pixel art is cheap and it's not as much as other stuff. So we get a bit of good information from this. Now, this was a huge interview. I want to make sure that I let you guys go check out the full thing, link in the description below, but we are going to talk about all that I just said and pretty much how the first next gen Nintendo Switch game has been announced with this title right here. Before it was kind of wishy-washy, but now it's pretty much confirmed. It's coming to a Nintendo Switch 2 or a next gen Nintendo Switch, or I wouldn't think a Nintendo Switch Pro. If they said next gen Nintendo Switch Pro, that would be a revision. So it's kind of murky right now, but let's get into what the developers had to say in this interview. Now, the first question was, what platforms will Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes release on day one? As originally pledged to the backers, the game will be released on Xbox One, Xbox Series S/S, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Steam, Epic Game Store, and Nintendo's next generation hardware. So they're actually fully going through with that. Now, one of the other questions was, with the project now having a publisher and getting major first-party support, I feel like my backer contribution is meaningless. And here's what they had to say. That is just not true. As stated in the beginning of the campaign, we were talking to multiple publishers in order to have enough funding to make a game like the size of Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. The reality is that every publisher needed a proof of concept. That is to say that without showing that there was an active fan base that wanted this game, we couldn't have received additional support to make a proper game. The reality is that most JRPGs can easily cost more than $50 million to make, so we really needed as much support as possible. And the reality is the game has truly only been possible through the backers' support. Now, this is another interesting question here because we see this all the time. Metroid Dread's price kind of came into question and they talked about it. Oh, 2D, it's not worth it. Some people even claiming that they can look at engines and see if it's worth a lot of money or not, or it costs a lot of money to make or not, despite not knowing what engine a game runs on. So let's hear what an actual developer has to say on the matter. Now, here's the question. Does 2D or 2.5D game really require that much money to make? And here is the answer. First of all, it costs a lot of money to make a large-scale RPG, whether it is 2D or 3D. Based on your current plans, we need a team of more than 50 people to develop Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. In addition, the game will require hand-drawn pixel art and animations for more than 100 main characters, other sub-characters, and enemies in many scenes. Furthermore, creating pixel art the quality of today's monitors resolutions can be as time-consuming and costly as 3D art or more to create a single character asset. For all of these reasons and more, the combination of Kickstarter funding and other support from multiple parties made it possible for us to develop this game. But without a successful Kickstarter campaign, none of this would have become a reality. So there's also that as well, guys. Pretty much you heard it here from the horse's mouth when it comes down to it, man. Like, games are expensive to make, whether that's going to be 2D or it's going to be 3D. You're going to be spending a lot of money on a high quality game. This also came into question when Octopath Traveler came out and it was $60 on the Nintendo Switch, and people saying that it's not worth that, but there was also a lot of work that goes into a game like that as well. So I guess we can finally drop this whole, if it's 2D, it's not worth it compared to anything. No, there's a lot of work that goes into a lot of games, and if you don't know, or if you haven't developed games, maybe you shouldn't be talking about that too much. Maybe you should listen to what the developers actually have to say. So that's what I wanted to talk about when it comes down to this, guys. Looks like this is going to be a next gen Nintendo Switch game, along with a last gen game with other platforms as well, and also with PlayStation 5 and all that current gen game too. So next gen Nintendo, current gen with PlayStation 5 and Xbox, last gen as well. They've got their work cut out for them. I'm hoping the best for this game. I don't do Kickstarters anymore, so I didn't back it myself, but at the same time, I'm happy for them. They were able to get the backing and support from Microsoft and Game Pass and everybody. So we'll see how it works out, because I am excited to play the game. When it comes out, I will pick up a copy on whatever Nintendo's doing, because this game's not out until like another couple years or so, or I'll pick it up on PlayStation or Xbox or whatever the case is. So we'll see how it works out. So what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys. We have a Metroid Dread Nintendo Switch update via the hype for the game with Metroid Samus Returns. Now, I don't know if I've reported on this, but essentially what's been going on here is that Metroid games, since the Metroid Dread reveal at E3 2021, have been shooting up in price, like crazy amounts. We saw cartridges going for hundreds of dollars when it comes to Metroid Fusion and previous Metroid games on eBay, resellers, and all of that. If you have a mint or a new sealed copy of Metroid Fusion, hold on to it, because it's worth a lot of money at this point. Now, we also have on Amazon the Nintendo 3DS, you know, that forgotten system that people often downplayed during the Wii U era. Yeah, the 3DS, that system did really well. And Metroid Samus Returns, which was the last Metroid game that came out back in 2017, it's a remake of Metroid 2 on the Game Boy. That's actually jumped up to the #1 bestseller on Amazon for Nintendo 3DS games, and it's actually jumped above MSRP. So right now you can get it for $46 even. Now the game's MSRP, which is manufacturer suggested retail pricing, that is $39.99. Now before the Metroid Dread reveal, you could probably pick up this game for anywhere between like $20 and $30. Like, it was always in that range. You might be able to get it cheaper in some parts of the world. I saw it as low as $9.99 when it comes to British pounds or something like that. So it was cheaper. People were pretty much just throwing this game away. Like, a lot of 3DS games were being thrown away, but now they're actually rising in price because people are saying, oh snap, Nintendo's not making these anymore, so let's go ahead and get my collection complete. So yeah, start collecting 3DS games. But anyway, that's a side note here. But yes, Metroid Samus Returns is up to the #1 and is above MSRP. It's showing that there is a lot of demand for Metroid games, and that's what I was trying to tell you guys with how, yes, Metroid in the past hasn't quite done as well as it should have done considering the quality of the games, but the Switch effect combined with really good positioning this year in October, the early October, which there isn't a lot of other stuff around it, and the fact that it's been nearly 20 years since the last new 2D Metroid game, so the hype is all there, the install base is there, the character's popularity is there, people know of the name Metroid, people know of the name Samus Aran, they just haven't played the games as much, and it's been 20 years since the last new Metroid game when it comes to 2D ones at least, and I think that's going to be a perfect explosion for this game to do the best in its series, at least until Metroid Prime 4 comes out and we see what's going on with that game. But I do feel that 3 million plus is pretty much a lock for me, at least based off of what I'm seeing with the hype, based off what I'm seeing with the anticipation. We also had the Wii U randomly being brought back into the spotlight when all the Metroid games that are on there are shooting up to the top of the eShop sales charts. So to me, it's creating a perfect storm for Metroid Dread to do extremely well on the Nintendo Switch. But those are just my thoughts on it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. And keeping with the Amazon flow here, we've got a domination of Mario and Zelda on the Amazon bestsellers charts. Now, I haven't covered this in quite a bit. I wanted to let things just kind of sit a little bit. The summer's getting hotter and hotter. Some places the roads are even buckling due to the heat. But you know what? Nintendo's bringing some more heat with these games, and so far, despite even some of the controversy that we talked about recently, Mario Golf Super Rush is absolutely killing it on the Nintendo Switch. I think it's a perfect summer game. Mario Golf Super Rush #1 for Amazon new releases bestsellers in video games. And Zelda, another game that was controversial, Zelda Skyward Sword HD, that game shot up. It's #2 when it comes to games, 3 overall, but there's controllers and other stuff like that on here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say based off of just games by itself, #2 on there. So Mario and Zelda, like always, carrying Nintendo on the back, but a surprising game, maybe for some, not to me based off the demo, is Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin. And guess what, guys? Those demos that transfer over to the main game, they work. Japanese developers, do this for your JRPGs. Let people get a head start, because this game, Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin, had a fantastic demo on the eShop, and it's already been shooting up number 3 here, so very good to see that as well. Stuff like Tony Hawk, Pokemon Snap, Game Builder Garage as well are there too, so you guys can check out the full list. I'll have a link for you guys in the description below, but it just goes to show you that, to me, physical is still alive. I know it's pretty much on its last legs when it comes to Microsoft and Sony and Game Pass and PS Now and what, you know, games with gold, or that's kind of dead, but you know, PlayStation's like PS Games Plus and all of that. But when it comes to Nintendo games, when it comes to the Nintendo fans, we still have that physical hold. We still have those people that want to go out there and have the cartridge and lend it to their friend, or be able to let somebody else play it very easily, and have that normal nature of what we grew up with or what we had back in the day, which is physical games. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the digital sometimes, so I can play it on my Switch Lite and have it no problem and be lazy and not have to switch the cartridge back and forth. But I think that there is room for both. So as long as we keep supporting these physical games, we'll keep getting these physical games. So good job, pat on the back to all the Nintendo fans out there actually supporting the physical games and having these great physical sales when it comes to in stores across the world, and also online, plus with the digital sales too. Everything's kind of up with Nintendo Switch, so I do like to see that. So what are your thoughts on Mario and Zelda, the classic 1-2 punch dominating the Amazon sales charts? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys. Once again, Masahiro Sakurai has stated that the next DLC fighter for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will be the last one. And thank God, hallelujah, yes please. I am sick of hearing people complain about Super Smash Bros. Characters and who gets in and who doesn't get in. I've been satisfied for this game pretty much for day one with me, because of just how huge and epic the roster was. So anybody else that they added in was a bonus to me. But in the most recent presentation for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC character Kazuya from Tekken, he pretty much stated once again that it's the last character. Now let's go and get right into what his words were. If you didn't see the presentation, or if you didn't watch it with me, because I did stream it live recently, so let's go ahead and talk about this. Quote from Sakurai: "Up until now, we've created all sorts of fighters and stages, gathering all of these games, new and old, and compiling them into a single product is a task that has meant a lot to me. Now that I think about it, it's been close to 10 years since Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS systems was in development. I've been working on this for a long time. You could call it my life's work. But finally, the next DLC fighter will be the last one. There won't be any more after that. It'll be a while before that announcement, but it'll be available this year as planned, so please be patient. It seems like the team will have to complete this project at home right up until the end. Until then, we hope you enjoy playing as Kazuya Mishima, which is the new Tekken character that's coming today in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate." And I am very happy for Sakurai. It needs to be over. Like, I have a whole separate video that I'm doing what they could do for Super Smash Bros. 6 or for the next game or whatever, which I'll talk about then, and I'll also talk about who I think is going to be the last character as well, which we'll talk about that later. But this needs to end. There shouldn't be another Fighters Pass. There's already enough characters. There's enough crossovers. They have created a legendary game that has sold the best in terms of fighting games ever of all time. They've created unique characters with unique inputs that don't even put the normal conventions of Super Smash Bros. With characters like Terry and characters like Kazuya. I mean, his moveset is insane. They've created all sorts of stuff. It's time to let things go. It's time to just enjoy what we have right here, and then they can just take a break. Sakurai can make a different game. He can do something else, because we honestly don't need another Smash Bros. Game for a while. I would say up until Nintendo's next generation system, and even then, there doesn't really need to be too much in terms of what they need to do if they're going to continue the Ultimate legacy. But once again, I will talk about that in a separate video, because it needs its own time and dedication, and I really want to discuss that with a focused video. But I'm happy that Sakurai said this. It's over, guys. Last one's coming this year. That will be that. So I'm very excited that it will be over, and hopefully Masahiro Sakurai can get the time, funding, and money from Nintendo to make Kid Icarus Uprising 2 or a new Kid Icarus game on the Switch, because that would be awesome. So what are your thoughts on this, guys? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here, guys. Square Enix has talked about Neo, The World Ends With You, and how much hours or playtime that you'll be able to get out of this game, and you will not be disappointed, especially if you tried out the demo that's on the eShop and PlayStation PSN, which you can transfer over to the actual game. I just have to shout that out because I love when developers do that. It's the best way to get more hype to your game. So here is what the producer had to say recently in an interview. There will be a lot more to do in this game, especially compared to the original game. I think reaching the ending alone will take around 50 hours. Now, also one of the other producers had this to say as well. If you're the type of player to do everything a game has to offer, expect your hour count to reach the triple digits. There's a lot to collect in the game. Everything from character profiles to pins, with some challenging fights thrown in there as well. Clearing certain milestones in the game allows players to receive gratified stickers, which you can decorate the back streets of Utagawa with. So very good stuff there compared to the original game, which takes around 25 hours to complete the main story and 50 hours at most to collect everything. This is definitely a good sign because there's about 100 hours if you want to do everything, or definitely high in the double digit of hours. So very good to hear that. Once again, there's a demo to check out for Neo, The World Ends With You. I'm excited for the game. It's coming out pretty much July here. It's coming out July. This is going to be great, man. I really like the fact that we're getting so many cool RPGs and resurrections. The old school is kind of coming back when it comes down to it, because I remember playing the original The World Ends With You and thinking this is such a unique experience in game. So I love to see that they're finally able to create a dream project for them with this next one 13 years later or so. So very cool to see, and I'm very excited to play Neo, The World Ends With You, especially after trying out that demo. So what are your thoughts when it comes to all the different topics that we discussed here? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all the latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.